Well, USA Today described my next guest's new novel as this summer's first major literary thrill ride. Picture this, okay? You ready, Tam Fam? Follow me. A family goes on vacation to a remote island where they are plunged into a nightmare as they attempt to flee sadistic locals. Yikes. Great works of fiction. Oh my gosh. Well, author Adrian McKinty says the island was inspired, that story, inspired by a real life family trip. Are you kidding me? It just debuted yesterday on the New York Times bestseller list. It's already been picked up by Hulu to become a limited series. Please welcome author Adrian McKinty. Adrian. Inspired by a family vacation.
Yeah, we were living in Australia and we went to this remote island off the coast, and there was a bit of a bad vibe, and everyone was this large extended family, and they were all walking around with shotguns over their shoulders, and it was just really creepy. And we stopped at this farm, and one of them made an unfortunate off-color remark about my daughter. And my wife said to me, Adrian, enough of these long road trips. Let's get off this island as quickly as possible. And so we're driving to the ferry, and out of the it was so hot. It's like 42 degrees Celsius, which is about 112. And that's Australian heat. No ozone layer burning down on us. And we're driving and out of the long grass on the side of the road, the spinifex grass, a lady on a bicycle comes out. And she's wearing a hearing aid, but it's obviously not working or not plugged in, or the battery is dead or something. And I'm racing to the ferry, and she's there, and I'm here in the car, and I put on the brakes, and I slam the brakes, and we miss her by about 10 yards, and she keeps riding on down the road, completely oblivious to us that anything ever happened. But I'm sitting behind the wheel of the car, shaking, like terrified. And I turned to my wife to break the tension and said, you know, if we'd hit her, we would never have got off this island alive. And my wife perfectly seriously says, I don't think we would have. And then I was thinking about a new title for our new project for the next book, and I thought, oh my God, we did hit her. That's the next book.
What?
That's the idea.
I have so many things to unpack here. First of all, next vacation, Disney. That's a much better place to go. I'm like, let me tell you. But, okay, so let me read this. Okay, so here we go. This is at the beginning of the book, and the terrifying locals are just a few feet away. And you say, a crow with a skeptical yellow eye was watching her from the lightning-struck eucalyptus tree. The crow was death. If it called out, she was dead. If it flew toward Jacko and he turned to look, she was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of stuff keeps you up at night.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I thought my previous book, I thought that was terrifying, but I think this one is maybe even scarier and more frightening.
Where does this come from? Because I know you're such a happy guy. Before the commercial break, you said, I should have worn flip-flops if we were having a beach party.
I think, well, in real life, I'm a very relaxed, happy-go-lucky guy. But by the end of the day, I do most of my writing from like midnight to 3 a.m. And that's when the street is quiet and a little bit sinister. And I open up the windows and let all the darkness and the night sounds come in. Then I start typing. And then suddenly, you can always tell a book that was written after midnight from ones that were written during the day. And my last two novels were definitely written after midnight.
The Chain, huge hit.
Yes.
People fell in love, as I said. Time magazine praised it as one of the top publications of the year. And both The Chain and Island are being adapted for the screen.
That's correct.
You don't want to write your screen.
You know, I'm a fairly sort of gentle soul, and so when they came to me, I remember I wrote The Chain and I edited it, and it was and I've gone through The Chain is about a woman whose child is kidnapped, and to get the child back, she has to kidnap someone else's child because she's fallen into this evil entity called The Chain. And to be honest, it's a thrill ride, but it's really traumatic. And it's about a young woman who comes to power and fights evil.
How do you decompress from this kind of stuff? Because my book is a crime novel as well. I go to steak, mashed potatoes, and a big glass of wine. That's my reset. How do you reset?
Well, that's the whole point about the screenplay. I didn't want to write the screenplay.
Oh, you were like, I'm done.
I was going, this book was traumatic. and I wrote it and I read it and I'm done.
Do you visualize us with our hearts racing as we're reading
Absolutely. And I was visualizing, and I was there with the characters while they were going through those events. So it's so much more scary for me because I'm there. And anytime I get stuck in either of those two books, if I get stuck in the island or I get stuck in the chain, I would think a terrible thing.
Right.
I would think, what's the worst thing that could happen now? And then when I thought of the worst thing that could happen now, I go, I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh my God, listen.
And then I would start to write it.
When you're on the beach and you see someone's skin go white, you will know that they are in the middle of Adrian's thriller, The Island. It is out now, and the studio audience is getting a copy of this incredible thriller. And blame Adrian when you can't sleep for the next week. Thank you so much.